Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for taking some time out of the real life world horror to have some fantasy horror. Um, we're going to do some quick introductions around the table. We're going to start this evening with Emily. Tell us who you are tonight and who you are in real life.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining us. In real life, I go by the name Emily, and in this fake life, I go by the name Magnesium. Full name is Molly Monroe. Uh, if you really know her, you know where the name Magnesium comes from, but very few people do.
She
Um,
used it to burn some other shit down.
you know, maybe she likes fire like a lot now.
Okay,
Oh,
fair.
oh shit, she's a firebug now. Um,
I like this turn of events.
hmm,
I
hmm.
approve.
And next, let's go down to Mason.
Hey.
Dallas Rex, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, that's me. Hey, everybody. My name's Mason Dula. I stream on the Twitches with all these beautiful people sometimes, and then also you can find me on Wizard X TV, where we have D&D and Call of Cthulhu and other fun stuff. Tonight I'm playing Dallas Rex. I don't know how much longer he'll be the sheriff of this town, but he's the sheriff of the town, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're breaking a lot of laws, but it feels good, so it's all right.
You know what? New slogan. That's what you run your next platform on.
Yeah.
As long as it feels good,
It feels good.
go ahead and do it.
Ooh,
You do you.
Ooh.
I'm gonna
The dangerous precedent.
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Also, today is Mason's birthday, so
Happy
everybody,
birthday,
round of applause
Mason!
for Mason.
Happy birthday!
I'll try not to kill you tonight.
Okay.
And Mr. Ulrich Wolf.
Yes, in this here Darker Trails Call of Cthulhu game, I am the bounty hunter Ulrich Wolf. Prefer to talk my way out of situations, but it seems
Are you sure?
I let some lead fly last time, and that was...
By talk, he means shoot. Shoot his way through situations.
Shoot
But,
first.
you
shoot
know, I will
second,
say, I'm
shoot third,
just
fourth, fifth,
listening
and sixth.
to our keeper of secrets here. I was breaking laws, but it felt good, so I just went and
Oh.
did it.
Okay, all right.
But in the real world, I have finished my real world duties, and I am finally coming back to the things I like to do, like D&D and art.
Believe it when you see
Uh,
it.
huh?
Huh? What?
What? What was that? So you can find me over on twitch.tv/LordFancy_ and IE, as well as on Twitter, and I'll be posting on there because I'm coming back, and it feels good.
I like that, Mr. McDudd. 6-gun diplomacy. And last but not least, Miss Diana D'Amico.
Hey, so, yeah, I'm Diana D'Amico. I am enfianced to our storyteller tonight. Well, I guess I'm enfianced all the time, aren't I? But I am the I'm the other half of Barn Barbarian here. You can find me all over the place. I'm usually doing something for Die Hard, or I'm over on Mason's channel annoying him, or, you know, I'm places doing things.
And I guess that leaves me, your storyteller for the evening. My name is Justice. I go by Stash Mendu on all the socials because I usually have this big mustache, but I kind of cut it off for mask wearing. And I was gonna cut off the beard recently because I was kind of getting tired of it. And Dinah said, "No, I can't. That I have to let it grow until I can braid it into Viking beard braids." So
You're already so far. You can't just stop halfway.
yeah, that's the
Like
next
I want to
step.
cut my hair real bad, but I'm halfway, man. You can't just.
Just can't do it.
Got to get to
All
the
or
end
none.
first. Yeah.
Wait,
All
what
or
is
nothing,
the
but you know what?
end? Shoulder length? Mercer length?
I'm past shoulder length.
I like to think that he has
My
it
beard.
Mason length, just a little in advance. He's ahead of the curve.
He's catching up with you.
Aragorn length. We'll go with that.
We have a very special treat for you this evening. An intro video. So we're going to dip over to that, and then we'll go right into our recap. And we have some very, very big things to recap.
Also, be cool, guys, because this is the first one of these I've ever made. It's the first one I've ever put on Streamlabs. So if it sucks, lie
Don't
to
be
me.
cool.
Okay?
Everyone freak out.
Just be
Freak out,
cool.
everybody get
Just be
upset.
cool.
Freak out, everyone.
Be cool.
Well, I hope that set the mood appropriately for all of you. Um,
That took a really long time.
it was
Really
really good.
palatable.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thought it was amazing.
That's what I needed.
It's like a good
Palatable.
appetizer.
All right, so we're gonna dive back into our story. It's been a tumultuous couple days for our investigators. What started with a decapitation has now led to some arson and some other spooky things. We Our last episode was pretty unique in that we were missing one of our players. So Ulrich Wolf split from the party for some misdirection and moved into town. Meanwhile, our heroes had the rest of our team had some interesting interactions on the farm. You wanna tell us about that, Mags? What happened on the in the ranch there?
Well, I got wind of the fact that my dear sister and the sheriff were keeping something from me and didn't quite like that. I noticed that something weird was going on and took out my rage with a little fire. Just lit up those supplies on that wagon, and then that kind of got out of hand, and then I was inspired, and I just, had a little thought of how I'd like to burn this whole life and leave it behind. So down went the workshop, and anyway, that's all that happened. Absolutely nothing else happened. I don't need to recount anything that happened to anybody else in the story.
Alright.
Except,
No,
Well-
no, nothing else.
So
well, I fired Jeb.
that's right. Yeah, Jeb got
yeah,
fired.
and nothing happened as a result
Yeah,
of Jeb being fired.
that didn't have any repercussions whatsoever.
Nothing at all.
I also punched him.
Ulrich doesn't know exactly what happened on the farm. Suffice it to say, some things went down. And well, we might, depending on how the course of action goes, we might wind up revealing some more things as travel proceeds. And at the end of last week's episode, you all met up with an interesting character that you had been nominally chasing, kind of, who was the outlaw Logan Boone, who's been accused of crimes against the railroad. This is actually what brought Ulrich into town initially. And he brought you all back to his camp, and that is where we sort of ended once he kind of introduced his crew. Please stop licking yourself, Hodor. It's very loud. Nobody wants to hear that. On the other side of things, Mr. Ulrich Wolf found himself in town, and I don't know how much this. Oh man, this is tricky because I want to tell the people that are watching what happened, but I don't want you all to know what happened. So let's say Ulrich got into a bit of a dust up. We could say that. He may or may not be leaking his lifeblood onto the streets of Big Springs right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
if he were, I might do something about it, but he's not, so I won't.
I said may or may not.
Yeah,
be,
probably not.
You know,
It's Schrodinger's
Um,
death.
Yeah.
he's alive until proven otherwise. So I have a little bit of a surprise for the players today. We are on episode 6, and this seems like a good time to reward our investigators with a little bit of experience.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So there's a mechanic in Call of Cthulhu that I like. That when you use a skill, you're supposed to put a little checkbox next to it, right? And over time, you get better at the things that you try to do. So if Mags decided to get a 6-shooter, steal it from the sheriff or something like that, I don't know, and just start firing, each time she would get a little bit better. Is the feel. It's not experience in the traditional sense, but since we haven't really been keeping track of that, and I feel like that would just slow the game down to keep track of that. What we're going to do is each of you gets to take 4 skills from your sheet. I don't really care if you've used them or not, but choose 4 skills. Roll your percentile and your D10, and if you roll higher than your current skill, then you get to roll a D10 and apply that amount to that skill. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
and
said- you said
I totally
add a
have my
D10?
dice in front of me. Totally.
Emily.
Forget to grab them. I'll be
Shame.
right back.
Shame.
For totally
Shame.
unrelated
Sorry, Mason, what were you saying?
reasons.
No, it's good. So it's just like regular upgrading, except we're just choosing 4.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. You just choose the skills that you want to upgrade.
Gotcha.
I would roll a 1 on the D10.
How many upgrades do we get?
4.
And just add the total percentage.
Well, first you roll the 100. Roll
Right.
your regular percentile and 10, and if you exceed what your skill currently is,
Doing pretty good.
then you get to add 1d10 to that.
Got it.
And we have to choose 4 different skills.
Yes.
All right.
Man, this
The
one's
cool
hard.
thing about this, and we definitely won't hit it today, but if you exceed 90% or more on a single skill, you get to add a shit ton of sanity back to yourself, because you've just become so amazing at this thing that
You become more sane?
you become more sane
Wait, what point?
when you exceed 90% on a skill.
Oh,
Just as a skill check, or right now while we're doing this?
No, like in general, like if you
Oh, okay.
rolled, if your pistol shooting was at 87 and you rolled a 10, then you would gain 2d6 sanity. Like that's on down the road.
only got 1. Damn it! I was so excited. I got higher on my handgun, but only by 1.
Have you rolled all 4, Mason?
Yeah, I got 3 out of 4.
Me
Which
too.
3 skills did you get to bump up for?
I went with. Oh wait, did I bump the wrong one over here? Oh no, that's correct. Spot hidden.
Good one.
I went with firearms, and then I went with listen. And I tried to go with ride because I feel like that could be a thing at some point.
Yeah, it might come up.
But I failed that check pretty hard. Actually, I didn't. I was only by 6. Fuck. Oh, well, close.
And Miss Diana, what did you get?
I was able to increase spot hidden, history, and charm. Spot hidden, I only got to increase by 1 though, so kind of shitty. But I'm way more charming now.
Bills, yeah.
Hot diggity. Mr. Ulrich Wolf, what did you get to bump up, if anything?
Well, I got 3 out of 4. I'm getting my bad rolls out of the way. Unless this is a repeat of the one-on-one. So I managed to bump up rifles by 3 points.
Okay.
Track by 9 points.
Oh.
And medicine by 8 points.
Why on earth did you choose medicine of all
Why
of them?
why
would you want
ever
to choose
pick
medicine?
that? Oh,
As he's bleeding to death in the street, he has an epiphany. I can
Yep.
fix this.
I'm
I should plug up
frantically
this
calling
hole!
back.
Well,
I
when you
know
can
first
see your own
aid.
organs, you know better like how they're supposed to look.
Yeah,
No,
that's fair.
That's a very valid
Or
point.
rather, how they should not look.
Hey, does this organ look healthy?
Ask the doctor, dentist, barber. I'm sure he'll know.
Howdy.
And Miss Mags,
I
what
got
did you get?
all 4. My
Ooh.
fighting went up by 8. My intimidate went up by 4. My persuasion went up by 4. And my listen went up by 2.
All right. So everybody got a little bit better.
Just a skosh.
Just a skosh. So today, what we are going to do, we're going to have to bounce back and forth. And you all will learn a little bit about each other's storyline as we go. There's no way to prevent it, but we'll just assume that if you all meet back up, you'll probably tell each other what happened. So we're gonna start with.
Dallas hasn't told Mags or Maybell.
It's true.
You know what? I wouldn't. I just wouldn't.
I'm definitely not telling Mags. I'm gonna find myself on fire the next day.
She wouldn't wait that long.
It's true.
We find ourselves in an abandoned mine shaft, right? And you all are speaking with Mr. Logan Boone. He has just introduced his compatriots, a few of them anyway. His wife, Mary Boone, Hutaka, who is a Cheyenne medicine man, and he is a member. Nope, you don't know that yet. Just kidding. Ignore that. And a couple other members of his party. So it's late night, if I recall. You all, burned a couple things, escaped the house that was burning down, and went out through the secret tunnel in your father's office, and found yourselves confronted by the Logan Boone gang. They had just got back to the hideout, so it is late. It is past midnight, but it seems like everybody is actively doing something. You see two of the gentlemen that looked very similar, that introduced themselves as Buck and Boston Campbell. They're sort of stacking crates. They're taking them from deeper in the mine out. And as you all see them walk past, you notice that they are carrying explosives. It is a crate of dynamite.
Buck in Boston. Who?
Campbell.
Okay. Cool.
And Logan sits you down. Mary brings over a pot of coffee and pours you each a cup of hot coffee. Do any of you take tea instead? I know this is an American thing.
Frankly, I could care less what's in the cup right now.
I mean,
I absolutely understand, but a hot beverage does wonders in the evening after such a trying time.
Coffee's great.
There could be something better for trying times in this cup, is all I'm gonna say.
You are absolutely right, but I believe we all need to have clear heads for what is to come.
Mags, all their whiskey's gone, remember?
Oh yeah, that barrel of whiskey that you blew up.
I think I'm gonna refrain from drink at the moment. Thank you.
Certainly, yes. Logan stands up and he says, I know you all have an awful lot of questions, I'm certain. Is there anything that I can answer immediately? I have a lot of information to provide to you, but I'd really like to address any immediate concerns.
What the hell was our daddy doing?
Ah, yes. Straight to the matter, just like a Monroe. I appreciate your direct forwardness, Miss Monroe. Your father and I are members of an ancient society, I guess you would call it. And he strikes sort of a little bit of a pose, and he says, I'm a member of the Royal Academy for the Preservation of the Natural Order. And we are here, and your father is here on a mission. and I feel a little silly saying this out loud, but it's for the safety of the entire world.
In what way?
The Royal Academy for the Preservation of the Natural Order we were founded to keep the preservation of the natural order. I apologize. Um, there are entities out there. See, where should I start? Mary, I
At the
suppose I should just go back.
beginning, with the clear parts.
Oh, okay. There's a lot that you're. I don't mean to be insulting, but your mind may reject what I'm about to tell you. We are not alone in this world or this universe. We'll go back to the 4th century. There was an order of Byzantine monks. They stumbled across a plot. It was a plot to release. Oh goodness, how much do I tell you? There are elder beings. There are beings outside of the scope of our human minds. We can't even comprehend them. If they were brought into
Monsters?
Yes, let's go with monsters. Monsters from outside of our world. They exist, and they are real. The order of Byzantine monks, they discovered a plot. There's an ancient Greek society that was attempting to raise one of the elder ones, and bring him into our plane, and they foiled it, and they decided these items, these things couldn't be allowed to happen, or the very fabric of life as we know it would become unraveled. And I can't overstate the fact that this would undo our existence. They foiled the plot, obviously, or none of us would be here, right? So, and they established an order, the preservation for the natural order. And we as a society have stopped untold horrors from entering this dimension across the centuries and eons. My particular branch, the Royal Academy for the Preservation of the Natural Order, was founded in jolly old London. And at the early onset of the Industrial Revolution, it's not too old, in the last 50 years or so, we have ties with the royal family themselves. And European unions and societies have existed as long as the Byzantine monks. And we finally, how do you Yanks say, got our shit together, and pooled all our funding, and we've been much more effective at stopping these sort of things. The Royal Academy came across to the continent, and your father was recruited at a young age. He had a brilliant mind and an eye for strategy, a mind for accounting. He was one of the best number keepers I've ever met. And he helped us to establish a foothold here in the United States. And after your mother, bless her soul, was assassinated, he moved west to stop. You didn't know. Oh, goodness.
Our mother wasn't assassinated.
Your mother was a brilliant woman. She got too close to the heart of the matter, and they killed her.
What, these monsters you're talking about?
Well, no, not exactly. If the monsters were here, we would all be dead. But there are certain societies within our known world that wish to bring these entities here. They feel that they will be rewarded somehow, or their brains are altered. I honestly can't tell you why they want to do this, but we are here to stop them.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I need you. I need you to clear something up for me. My father,
Yes.
Monroe, fought
Yes.
monsters with
Well,
his bookkeeping. That's what you're telling me right now.
yes. He was a powerhouse in politics, and he did wonders to stop the advancement of these beings,
All
and he
right.
was defeated.
I don't know if you're actually Mr. Boone or not. You're not as scary as Mr. Wolf made you out to be, but we have some real problems that we got to deal with right now. I'm like, if this is some elaborate joke, you really need to get to the punchline.
My dear girl, we are fighting for the very lives, the existence of humanity. In your town, right this moment, there's a train. It is filled to the brim with soldiers and beings that have knowledge and powers that would scramble your brains to see. They are carrying with them an object of power. This railroad has been they cite it as an accomplishment of man and a perseverance of spirit. In reality, it is a perversion. The powers that be, those that have the money and influence to make things happen, the Union Pacific Railroad, their entire purpose is to connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. There is power in those oceans, and this railroad follows ancient lines of power. They are set to meet in Promontory Point, Utah, in a matter of months. At that time, 4 artifacts of ancient civilizations will be driven into the ground, a ritual will be performed, and a rip in the fabric of our universe will be opened, and entities that will make you go insane just to see them will pour into our dominion.
And you know all this how?
Because I, and he's going to pull his shirt down and reveal a tattoo right here, am a member of the Royal Academy for the Preservation of the Natural Order. We have intercepted correspondence, and it has been my duty, along with these fine folks, to stop the railroad at all costs. This is why the Union Pacific has spread such lies about me and sent bounty hunters. Not only have we had to deal with horrors from the other world and cultists, we've also had to deal with mundane bounty hunters and Pinkertons. He almost spits the word out.
I gotta take a minute. I'll kind of like clumsily get up from the table and take a few steps outside if I can.
I want to, like, when she does that, grab her wrist to stop her. And I turn back to them and I'm like, "Wait. So what happened to our father? What really happened?"
Your father was assassinated. He was the one man standing in the way of this train of terror. And we've done everything that we could to keep him safe. They finally got to him. I'm fuzzy on the details, but from what I hear, they called forth a skinwalker who they're an ancient being of this land. Hatake's people have fought them in the past. And he's going to gesture to the Cheyenne man standing there. And he nods solemnly. He's a much older man. He's all gray, long hair, very deep crow's feet, and his skin looks like well tanned leather. And he just nods his agreement. They have a way of getting in and out of places they shouldn't, and they have incredible strength and power. And we believe that is what got to your father.
I look at Maybelle in the eyes, and I'm like, if they had said this any night up until now, I would have thought they were telling fairy stories, but do you seriously not believe it?
Storyteller. Does the mention of a skinwalker mean anything to me with my readings or anything?
Give me a library.
Storyteller.
Yes, sir.
Also, I've been watching him pretty closely. I still don't entirely trust him. Is there any ulterior motive? Is he a little bit crazy? Like, am I getting any vibes off of him?
Roll me a psychology.
I just barely succeeded by
I got
1%.
extreme success.
Okay. Oh, I'm in the wrong book. Apologies. It's like,
He's
where
like,
is this
Dungeons
monster?
and Dragons.
Beholders. What are beholders doing here?
Oh, jeez.
Well, actually, beholder of all the D&D things, beholder actually probably would fit the
It would.
most.
Beholder and Illithids, I think, are right at home.
So you succeeded on your library. Let me find I did have it bookmarked, but this was weeks ago. How was your psychology, sir?
I got an extreme success. I got a 3.
Extreme success. He might be a little with an extreme success. He might be a little bit, maybe just a little bit wild-eyed, just a tad, where he might be a little bit, just a tiny bit unhinged. Like he might have seen some things. This is the same sort of look that you saw in veterans of the Civil War that have come across your path in the last years.
But at the very least, like, he believes what he's saying.
Absolutely does. He is completely sincere. And he speaks with a conviction that you can he almost feels like a politician. Like the words that he's saying, and they strike a chord with you, because it's, when somebody says something and that they talk about they believe in so much that they bring that conviction to you a little bit. You get that sense from him, and as you're looking around as well, because there are other people in the cavern. Not one of them checks themselves while he's saying all this. They all continue about their duty with a solidness of purpose.
Okay.
And not Mags. Maybelle, with your library roll, just a bare success. You might have you remember reading something in North American native lore about a Wendigo that oftentimes was called a skinwalker, because the legend goes that they eat human flesh.
Cute.
An endless hunger, loneliness, and wandering.
Cool.
Yeah. They're generally seen in winter, and you are coming on winter.
I'll kind of take a moment. Mags, what he's saying is from fairy tale stories, these tall tales that I've read them before, but you really think that Daddy hid this much from us? That he was this cavalier in monster hunting?
Your was not a monster hunter. He used his knowledge and skills in other ways. He expanded our holdings. He kept our books, um, and he fought on the political realm. Believe it or not, I am more of the monster hunter, as you say.
I look at you and say, what better explanation do we have for everything we've seen tonight? I'm not saying we have to believe everything they're saying. I'm just saying these are the first answers anyone's been giving us all night. So don't just walk out on them.
Max, he's saying there's a train in town that holds the fate of the known world in it. Come on, we just met this man. Okay, you know where you go, I go.
I just want some answers.
I won't sit back down, but I'll kind of stand and like half lean on the back of the whatever chair Mags is sitting on.
Now, Mr. Boone, I don't entirely trust you yet. I can tell you, though, there's a man in town. Saw him last a little over a day ago. If we're doing this, I want you to bring him.
Just a clarification of point timelines. It's been about 6-7 hours since you saw.
That was the next day.
Nope,
Cool.
not yet.
Then I said that.
Nope, we had a busy evening.
Yeah, you guys are still on that
'Cause I thought
night.
you wrote off the night before during. Okay, cool. Yes, you're right. Okay. In any case,
And,
It was like the dead of night when we were leaving the cave. Right?
yeah.
was the funeral
Did
at
you all
night?
sleep that?
We tried.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, yeah. You did the arson, and then you all went to bed,
You
and
did
that's
the
when you were
arson.
woken. You did get a couple hours sleep though. That's right. But yep, it's been a day. It's a ride back to town. I can send a rider, and we can do our best, but
I
this train is
expect-
coming, and we have to stop it.
Yeah, this man, he's already risked his life to help us out. It wouldn't feel right leaving him behind.
Certainly, we will do everything in our power.
As a
So-
heads up, he might not be especially happy to see you in particular. Or might be especially happy depending on how the mood strikes him.
The bounty hunter, Mr. Wolf. Yes, I won't go myself. Perhaps I'll send. And he motions to one of his compatriots. Let me see here. Who? Yeah, one of the Irishmen, William Butler. He says, "Ride to town and make all haste. See if you can find Mr. Wolf, and we will meet you at the rendezvous point." And that's all he says, and grabs a shotgun that he has sitting by the scatter gun, as they say, and heads out the door. And with that, we are going to fast forward to daytime, back at the town of Big Springs. We have Mr. Ulrich Wolf. You're laying sort of face down right now.
Yep.
On the boardwalk in front of the sheriff's office. If you would, how many points are you off of your maximum hit points right now?
6. Oh, off of my maximum?
Yeah.
5.
Whew. Okay. So you are not below half, correct?
Just barely.
All right. Are you proficient in medicine or first aid?
Nope.
All right. Um, so you have the opportunity to um, mm, roll me a first aid. Because even if you aren't, I guess proficiency is not the right word. I don't have your character sheet pulled up. I should do that.
I didn't
If
even
you're
see
good
first.
at
Oh,
it.
there it is. There's first aid.
Terrible DM or storyteller. But luckily, you have a new character sheet that you sent me. What'd you get?
That is a hard success with a 13.
Oh man, you are
Lucky?
lucky. Yeah.
Even though you spent all your luck.
Yeah.
Just a
That's
portion,
cool.
just a bit of it, just some of it. Um, here's that new character sheet, shiny and new. All right. So you had a hard success on your first
First aid.
aid. So go ahead and heal 2 hit points. So generally with a first aid, it must be
Wow.
delivered within 1 hour, and it gets 1 point of recovery. But since you have 2 wounds, I'm going to allow with a hard success for you to have basically you're sitting there on the boardwalk, and you're close enough to the doctor, dentist, barber shop that you can kind of scooch your way in there down the boardwalk. If you would, for the audience, explain to us how you have been wounded heroically.
Hey, yeah. Uh, well, I came back to Big Springs and found a lot of Pinkertons. The folk that once called this place their home seem to be vacant from their mortal coil. Not
Hi,
dead,
welcome
but
to Big Springs.
close enough. So I took it upon myself to rid this town of those who seem to have taken their free will. This is about 5 or 6 Pinkertons. Well, I took 2 shots in the scuffle, one to the left shoulder and one to the right calf. Also, some splintering wood got me in the face.
Mm.
So now I am attempting my best to slide to the nearest medicine that I can find.
So you're able to scooch down the boardwalk there. Nobody comes out. There's, if you recall the saloon during the altercation in the saloon, nobody moved from the chair. The mayor never stood up once. Even when the tables were smashed around him by falling Pinkerton bodies, not one of them stood up in shock, to stop, to help, nothing. Um, and you scoot your way down to the doctor, barber, dentist. Nobody in there, but you are able to find some bandages and sort of patch yourself up a little bit, um, and heal 2 hit points. Um, apologies, I read up on this and I just wanted to double check. Luckily, you didn't fall below into major wound territory, or we would be having a few more issues here. But you're going to be hurting for a minute, and we will see how that plays out as we go. You're sitting currently in the doctor, dentist, barber chair office, and nursing your wounds. What would you like to do?
This man got anything to drink behind the counter?
some Barbasol. No, there's definitely a bottle of whiskey there. If you recall, the barber, Doctor Dentist, was deep in his cups when last you saw him.
Well, I'm gonna scoop myself behind something so if the door comes a swinging, I'm not immediately visible. Tend my wounds as best I can and just swig and just sit there and collect myself.
Okay. Um, for everyone else, the train has left. So when Ulrich Wolf came back to um, town, the train had departed. He doesn't. He it actually it had just left as he was coming into town. The whole altercation with the Pinkertons took maybe about half an hour. Um, Trains aren't real speedy, but it has departed. Um, as you're sitting there, give me a listen check.
Ooh, that is a hard success. It's another 14. Or
You
13,
hear hoofbeats coming into town. And if you recall, you sent all of the horses running out of town. Um, so you know it's not a random horse.
I'm gonna take the moment I got to count my ammunition and reload my guns.
You hear the horse come riding in fast. Um, and sorry, I'm willing myself to do an accent, and it might just go terribly. Ulrich, Ulrich Wolf, are you here, lad?
I'm gonna muster myself up. And who's calling?
Ah, you wouldn't know my name, but your friends sent me.
I'm in here.
And you see the door kick open, and nobody steps through, and then a gentleman leans slowly around, and you see the butt of a gun, and he sticks his head in, and then he pulls back out, and he says, "Lad, I'm not here to hurt you. The ladies Monroe, they asked that I come for you, and the Sheriff Rex, he said we needed to get you out of town."
Yeah, that's more truthful than you'd understand. I
If
need
I
some
come
help.
in there, are you gonna shoot me?
No, I've holstered my weapon. I reckon you should do the same.
And you hear the butt of a rifle being laid down on the boardwalk there and leaned against the wall. He cautiously sticks his head in. He's, "Goodness, man, you've been you look like you've been used for target practice."
You should see the other guy.
He's gonna look to his right, and he just kind of, I see him. "Good, you're a miss. Come on, let me see." And he's gonna sort of look around for some bandages. Um,
I couldn't get my shoulder too well.
yeah, see that he has stats. Let me see what his.
Don't you
Uh,
love when you give an NPC stats? You always go, "Why did I do that?"
Did we find a cleric? An
No.
Irish cleric?
Nah, you didn't. He's just a laborer of some sort. So he doesn't have any. Oh, hot damn! I rolled an 18. So he manages to find some antiseptic. It's basically
Rubbing alcohol?
moonshine, but you know it's raw corn liquor. Uh, and he says this. He hands you a stick of wood that is conveniently sitting there in the barber dentist doctor's office, and he says, "Bite down on this, lad. You're gonna need it." And he's gonna pour that grain alcohol into the wound on your shoulder. He says, "Scream out if you need to, but there's a bullet in here. I'm gonna have to dig it out."
Ah,
And he takes a knife. It's, you know, maybe clean. I don't know. He pours a little bit of the grain alcohol on it and he goes, "Are you ready?"
mm.
And he goes digging around in your shoulder, and white hot lances of fire are just across your whole body there. You feel that your fingers just go numb. Uh, and he says, hold it." And then you hear a small object hitting the ground. Looks like you lucked out, mate. You went all the way through, almost out. That I got it for you. Doesn't appear that anything's broken. And he kind of grabs your shoulder and moves it around, which hurts. But yeah, yeah, you're gonna be all right. You just need a little bit of time. And he takes the bandages that you had clumsily um, wrapped around your shoulder, and he cinches them down and gets a little bit. "This ain't my first time, but I sure do wish it were my last." And then he tends to your calf a little bit too and tightens up those bandages, and he says, "All right, lad, you're gonna be all right. I can at least get you somewhere a little more comfortable. Go ahead and take another point of healing. But you're not running anywhere anytime soon."
Nope.
What was you? Did you decide to have a shootout here on the streets?
Yeah,
Where are all the town folk? What's going on here, lad?
I think it might be best if you don't go poking around.
Hey, you know, that suits me just fine. And he sort of helps you up. Things are about to go down. We've got to get back to your friends.
Where
They
they at?
desperately wanted your help, but I'm not sure that you're in any shape to help anyone.
What's about to happen?
That train that just let out of here not too long ago, they're about to stop it.
Christ.
Don't worry, they're in good hands. And he's gonna help you up on the horse and then jump up in front of you and hold on tight, lad. We got a bumpy road ahead of us. And he's gonna take off down the train tracks.
All right.
And with that, we will shift back over back to the cavern where it is still night.
Okay. Let's say we did believe that the world was gonna end and that our dads had something to do with it not ending quite so soon. You mentioned a train?
Crap, now I gotta shift back to my Yes, that's right. The train that is in your town right this moment. It's heavily armed, heavily armored, and it contains an artifact of such power that I I wouldn't touch it. I'll tell you that.
And what do you expect us to do about it?
Well, it forgive me, but there doesn't seem to be much to go home to right now.
So, you're our best option? I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to make a better case than that.
You all, and he puts his hand out to encompass all three of you, have the opportunity to join in a fight that has been going on for literal centuries, and your position to help save the very world that we live in. Now, I certainly don't want to force anyone into anything. And if you don't want to, that's quite all right. You can stay here, you can rest up for as long as you like, but we are leaving in the morning to intercept this train and hopefully stop the world from ending.
How much does it pay?
Well, we are well connected, sir. The royal family funds us personally, and the Monroe patriarch, he, God rest his soul, was a wonder with the books. Our coffers are quite full. You travel expenses shall be covered. We'll say that.
I mean, I think we're going to need a little more than that. Be putting our lives on the line for some mysterious order.
Sir, if you were to help us, we could see about inducting you into the order, and I'll just say, you never have to worry about such frivolous things as money ever again.
Well, I would say could you offer protection, but I think it's quite clear you cannot.
My dear girl, your father was my dearest friend in the world, and I knew him far longer in very sticky situations. Do not. Yeah, I had to think that through as I was saying it. Do not for a moment think that this does not weigh heavily upon me. I have lost my best friend in the entire world today.
Mr. Boone, if you can give me a good answer to this question, I'll help as best I can. Why didn't he tell us? If this was so important to him, if this destroyed our family, moved us across the country, and encompassed his whole life, why not tell his two daughters anything?
He's gonna look at you very intently for a long moment, and his gaze is gonna shift from you to Mags to Sheriff Rex, and he's gonna say, "This night, or rather, in the past 2 nights, have you seen anything that made you question your very existence?"
She's just gonna stare him down.
Sheriff Rex, you in particular, I believe. You've seen something that shook you to the core, am I correct?
I might have seen something that didn't make me question myself. But, I know there's more out there. Not
This-
saying I want to get involved with it, to be clear.
This, my dear ladies, is what your father was trying to protect you from. The things that we've seen and the things that we've done have changed us in ways that you can't comprehend until you've experienced it for yourself. He was attempting, even after the death of your mother, to protect you as the most important things in this world to him.
I'll kind
Does
of,
that suffice, madam?
I'll sort of glance at Mags and then at Dallas and turn back to Mr. Boone. If this is what he wanted, I'll help.
My dear girl, let me be very clear. He did not want you involved with this.
If this was his goal, it's my goal too. And Mags, I don't know what plans you have. I didn't really expect to do much, without a daddy. We have nothing now. Sheriff Rex, I know that you probably have all kinds of things you gotta get to, but I know that I would feel better if you were around. I think Mags would too. We'd probably be dead right now if it wasn't for you. I'll pay you whatever I can if you're that concerned about money after this job's over. But if this was what he wanted, then it's all I have left.
Well, it wouldn't exactly be chivalrous of me to let the two of you go in alone, would it? Fine. I'm in.
Mags?
I kind of take a deep breath, pat my hand on my hammer at my waist, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in, and well, I think it's what Daddy would have wanted.
I can say that he would be proud of you. I know he didn't want this for you. He wanted you all to grow up happy and healthy and free of worry and all this. But he would be proud that you'd be willing to take a stand for this universe. Let me lay out my plan. And so he calls in the rest of the folks that have been gathering supplies and moving it out. And you've heard a wagon get pulled up and some horses wicker. And he pulls out a map and shows you a map of the surrounding area. This railroad track continues on all the way to Cheyenne. They know that this area is dangerous. Myself and compatriots, as well as our friend here, and he motions to Hatoke's people, have done everything that we can to prevent this. This is a very important artifact, so they have probably pulled out all the stops. Our best bet is to disable the tracks and hit them with everything that we can before they have an opportunity to hit back. I want to be very clear. And he looks not only at you, but at all of his folks as well, as if he's hammering something that has been hammered over and over and again. If we do not hit them hard enough in the first strike, we'll kill every single one of us. They have the power at their disposal to do so.
And what's this artifact we're looking for?
And he holds up his hands and he says, it's about 8 inches. It will be shaped like a railroad spike, and it will be completely made of jade. Wait. Hold, please.
It doesn't sound like a very effective railroad spike. Just saying,
No, this one, it will be made of a certain stone from England, a blue stone. It's what they made the powerful Stonehenge from. It will not be just bandied about. It will probably be in a safe of some sort, or some sort of large conveyance.
And you want us to take this back?
I don't. This spike cannot be allowed to make it to Promontory Point. That is it.
Okay, so we're gonna take this back then. That's all right.
If we can recover it, yes. If we can destroy it, even better.
Does it burn?
It's made of stone. So I suppose if you get the heat hot enough, it would burn, yes. And he motions to a gentleman that looks just a few shades shy of a full sunlight. Nope, that's bad. He looks crazy, just a little bit, in the best kind of way. And he says, Ted is, he's an expert at explosives. And Tad just kind of looks at all of you with one eye out and he goes, yes, I am.
Oh,
kinda,
we're gonna get along just fine, you and me.
You got the bug, lass.
Oh God!
Once you catch that bug,
No,
it don't go away.
You two cannot
well-
hang out, and I'll sort of like put a hand on Meg's shoulder.
I look at him and I'm like, right me.
Do we know there's no one innocent on this train?
The enemy has been known to use innocence in the past. I do not know if they took any from the town. Our intelligence says that when it left Omaha, it was solely manned by members of the cult.
Mr. Boone, do you have a workshop? Something like
we are
that?
equipped with what we could cobble together. We have a blacksmith's area, and yes, there's a few tinkerers' toys and things about. I like to try my hand at a few things here and then. This, yes.
Could you point me in that direction?
And he points further down into the cavern.
Okay.
Well, if we've got explosives, and you don't think there's anybody on board not worth receiving of divine judgment, why don't we just blow up the whole train as it goes by?
You're a very devious mind, Chef, and that is exactly what we have in plan. We just don't know if it will be effective.
You say he's an expert. Is there anywhere the train goes through a tight corridor, maybe a tunnel?
And he pulls out the map and he points to a pass. And he says, right here, forgive me, chat, there, I do not know Western geography very well, so we're going to make this up. As it goes across the gulch here, and it heads directly into the Devil's Pass. How appropriate.
Right. Well, how much time do we have?
And he pulls out a pocket watch and he says, time is ticking. We shall have to leave in the next hour to be able to get to the pass in time. The train is set to leave at 8 a.m. I don't know if they will leave early or late. Trains are
Will an hour
fickle.
give us enough time to place said explosives?
Yes, we believe so.
And why don't we leave now then?
We have a few more things to get ready, and then we will absolutely head on our way.
I would like a few minutes. I'm not much of a gunfighter. I don't know if you've picked up on that.
I can maybe show you a thing or two if we've got time.
So you all go about your things. Mags, did you want to do anything?
I mean, I want to talk to what's his name? Not
Tad?
Tad. I was gonna say Ted. I was like, it's not Ted.
Good old
TADD.
Ted the Explosives Man.
Tad. He's a prospector, but I didn't go with my prospector voice. Cause that's just a little bit crazy.
I hate that one.
It like became Yoda over time.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
it
a
did.
Yoda laugh.
I explosives you like.
I want to
Sounds
talk to
good to me.
him.
Yeah, I want to talk to that guy.
That guy. Glad I called that guy. Certainly you can talk to Tad as your sister leaves. What you want to know, Missy?
Well, well, it's nice to meet you. I I'm quite good at making things hot. I have lots of experience with that, working as a blacksmith for trying to develop that trade, which is not easy for someone, well, you know,
Beautiful?
um female.
Oh,
But
psha, you're built like a brick house.
well, thank you.
You can hammer my horseshoes any day.
Well, I'm quite good at horseshoes, but my main question is what rather can you show me about explosives?
What can't I show you about explosives? Better that question. I've been dealing with explosions. Oh goodness, I served on a cannoneer brigade for the North in the war between the states. And then I got into dynamite and glycerin. Now glycerin, that's a substance. Whoo, doggy, if you ever get your hands on some of that, that's some good stuff. But dynamite's pretty easy. You just make sure you're not where it's gonna blow up.
Well, is there anything you could show me, like how to rig that kind of stuff on the fly, or what kinds of things I should be, you know, trying to hunt down in terms of supplies?
Generally, anything that they keep packed in sawdust is something you're gonna want to get a hold of. And then, like I said, run like hell.
Got it.
And he's gonna pull a stick of dynamite out of a just he just had it casually stuffed in the back of his pants. He's gonna pull it out and he's gonna do you have your apron on?
Yeah.
He's gonna stick it in one of your apron pockets and pat it and go, and there you go, that'll get you started.
I give him a wink and head out the door.
So the plan right now is you all are going to depart in the near future, and you're going to head towards the gulch that leads into Devil's Pass, and wait in ambush. So is there anything you wish to prepare beforehand? They have a pretty good stockpile of weapons. You can get just about anything you want. Plenty of ammo.
Mabel would have wandered off to where she had been shown the tinkering sort of station that Mr. Boone had set up.
Okay. We are going to, while you are fashioning some stuff, is there anything you wanted to do, Sheriff Rex?
I mean, just because I feel like it's cool and I don't want to have to reload in the middle of a fight, I do want to see if I can grab, like chest holsters so I can have 2 on my hips and 2 here.
Yeah.
That way, if I need to, shoot, drop, and then grab 2 more, I have that to go. And then that's pretty much it, because pistols are kind of my jam, rifles not so much, and I don't know that anything else is going to be super handy, so just lots of ammo and guns.
Okay. We are going to shift our focus back to the next morning as bounty hunter Ulrich Wolf rides behind William Butler as you are going down the road on his horse. You hanging out there, all right, lad?
Yeah. How much further are we?
We got a good ways to go. We gotta cut across and try and get there before the train does. Your friends are lying in wait. There's a plan to
What?
blow up the train. Look,
The
I
train
don't know
that
all the
done
details.
left Big Springs this morning?
That's the very one.
Fuck. Well, good. Good fucking riddance.
You got something against trains, lad?
You ever see a face you hate and then see it 50 more times?
Hey, there's a few devils from my past that I see popping up all over the place. See their eyes.
Yeah. Well, there's a long story.
We got a bit of a ride, lad. If you haven't noticed.
I'm not sure what it is they done in Big Springs, but it's something unexplainable. The people there, the ones that are left at least, they're all stuck outside of themselves. They're just utter simple phrases of passing and show no mind to things that happen around them. Goddamn disturbing.
Hey, we've seen this a few times.
What?
It's a form of mind control or something like that. I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on, but it's been happening all along the railroads, all the way from Omaha, small towns, all the way across the state. They lose themselves.
Does this effect wear off after time?
I don't know, mate. I just don't know. Strange times we're living in here.
Living or surviving?
Aye.
Regardless, there was a fella who came into town with one of them Pinkerton types. He was a hired gun, alongside the hired gun, a bit redundant if you ask me, but certainly a dark character. Well, it was last night when I was riding on past said train, and there in one of the carts was that man. And we had just blown his brain matter all across the Monroe Manor. And it wasn't just one of him, neither. It was 24, perhaps.
Well, the sun plays tricks on all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. That midnight sun.
Perhaps it was a reflection across the moon, something along those lines. I've never heard of something like that.
Me either. I certainly hope it is something explainable by science, because that was unfathomable to me. Found myself reeling in the middle of nowhere as if I had seen a ghost. Wasn't quite sure why I had taken off and ridden my horse so long, but then I was alone and shit, I left my dumb stuff in my room.
We can replace things. We can't go back this time. We've got to push on, or we're gonna miss the party.
Yeah. I think I'll fall silent then for the rest of the ride.
So as you continue, the railroad tracks don't run parallel to the road. They kind of veer off and travel on the path of least resistance. The road cuts directly across country. Um, and as you travel, you do pass the Monroe Ranch. And as you get closer, you see a pillar of smoke coming from where it, because you had traveled this road not 2 nights ago on the way to a party, no less. And as you get closer, you see a rising plume of smoke coming from where the Monroe Ranch was.
What in the hell?
Aye, lad, it's best to ride fast past here. Trust me, none of your friends are injured. But there was quite a to-do up at the ranch last night.
I guess I got a lot of questions.
And
Who?
as you,
How many of them did you speak to? The two girls?
I and the sheriff, I didn't speak directly to any of them, but they were all three there. What do you expect in anyone else, lad? Because I regret to inform you that that's all that made it out. Through that nifty little secret passage in the house.
Of course. Who? Who are you with?
I've been advised not to tell you who I'm with, lad. Just that they're with friends.
Well, that doesn't sound really.
Look, lad, I've been around this ball of earth a little bit of time, not much longer than yourself, but what I've found is I believe in things that happen, not things that have been told. And what you know is this morning I rolled into town and I saved, maybe, your life. And I took a bullet out of your shoulder. So you can choose to come with me and trust me or not.
I'm already riding bitch with you. So looks like we're heading to our destination.
That's what I like to hear, lad. And as you come across the rise, you do see the Monroe Ranch as the road continues past it. And the main house is a smoldering ash pile. The barn is gone. The outshops, every building has been burned to the ground. And you had a moment as you left the ranch. You saw the your friends and the members of the ranch burying the father beneath a great oak tree near the house. And as you pass, you ride by, you notice the oak tree is bearing a different type of fruit this morning. And there's a body still hanging from the branches of the tree of the Monroe Ranch.
Cut closer. We got a minute.
Lad, there's no use kicking up an anthill. We're short on time.
I'm gonna tighten my grip on what I have with the arm I've got. Ride faster. We gotta get there. These bastards have to pay.
Hey, lad. And he'll kick the horse up to a what's the word? Not a saunter. Um, whatever is faster than a walk.
Trot?
Trot.
Trot. There we go. Kicks it up to a trot. Do you want to try and see who is in the tree?
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt a look as we go by.
Yep. Roll me a spot hidden there.
Oh, no. 28. Spot hidden. Where are we? The regular success.
From where you're at, you notice a familiar shock of hair, and you see that it is Lewis, the ranch hand. You're not sure why. You're not sure the situation that led this, but that is the only human that you see in and around the ranch as you go by.
Does he see anything not human?
Carrion birds. There are some ravens and vultures. There's the word. Circling the ranch as you go by. It's a desolate scene.
Yeah. Well, I'll make note of it.
He as he kicks it into trot, you go. He takes it off road and kicks it across the country, and opens it up as much as he can. He leaves the road because you were on sort of a dusty road, and goes almost on a straight shot directly due west. And eventually, as you're going along, you do hear the whistle blow in the distance. As you're coming, you drive Jesus Christ, you ride about an hour and a half, and you do hear the whistle as the train is coming back around towards these mountains that you've been going towards the whole time. We're almost there, lad. I'm not sure exactly how the plan may have changed, but things are about to go sideways. They always do.
Do you know more information on who it is that is occupying this train?
The only thing I know, lad, is you don't want to tussle with them. So the harder we hit them first, the better.
So we got to stop ourselves a train. I imagine there must be quite the bounty of dynamite ahead of them.
Oh, we've got a lad that's perfect for that job. And we are going to shift back to our party, who has left the area. It is now morning, and you all are lying in wait on a ridge overlooking the railroad tracks below you. Was there anything in particular that you all did at the mine before you left?
I'm gonna
I
send you
would.
a message.
So top of the we're at the top right now. I would like to at the very least make sure that because I don't want particularly the ladies getting close if they let me. Try and help set them up with rifles from a little bit further away. And then I was hoping, based on the way things explode, there might be a way for me to be a little bit closer with pistols and things. That way, when it explodes and stops, so that I might have a little cover, but be close enough to be effective with pistols, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Without having to ride down in the open.
Okay, and Maybell, what did you want to accomplish here? Because you all got there in time to set up some stuff before the train, before you're sitting in wait.
Yeah, so you guys would have seen Mabel probably would have scoffed at Dallas's offer for a rifle, and she'd hold up this little it sort of just looks like a box to you. You fight your way, and I'll fight mine. Just wait. And she'll walk over to the tracks, right where the gorge sort of begins to narrow a little bit. And she'll set 6 of these little boxes along the inside of the train track.
Okay. Do you explain what those are?
No.
I mean, I'm gonna ask.
I mean,
what are you doing there?
it's just a little something.
Yeah.
Mags isn't the only one who can put things together.
Are you gonna be, other than the obvious that we're very clearly immediately in danger, you will stay safe, right?
I don't think any of us are doing a very good job of staying safe right now, Sheriff Rex. But I feel pretty safe surrounded by the present company, so.
Just, keep your head down and keep your distance.
You too.
No promises.
Mags, do you witness this exchange and do you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, I think I'm just kind of standing in the background watching and just like not saying anything, just making annoyed huffing sounds in the background.
About that time, Tad is going to walk up. Hey, this is an awfully heavy crate. You want to help me carry it on down here?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'll
Mags.
help you.
Okay.
We're just going to set this dynamite up. Now, dynamite's a tricky little mechanism. You don't want to rustle up too much, but come on down here. We're going to blow up some stuff.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
And he takes you down to the mouth of this. I'll paint you a word picture. Okay. So we have this railroad track, and it's going across a gulch, and it goes directly into a mountain pass that they've blown in. So there is a bridge, essentially, that's going into the mountain pass. There's a little bit of land as it comes back up and goes in through the mountain. And he takes it down and starts showing you how to chain the dynamite together so that it all can be on a single fuse. Let me see her. EF. Roll me an intelligence, Mags.
Okay.
I really like Mags' new boyfriend.
That is a fail.
Okay. Go ahead and write or type in explosives on your sheet, and give yourself 5 points in it. 5. You don't pick up everything as he's showing it to you because he does these. He's got these real quick little gestures that he does as he kind of ties the fuses together. And you kind of see what he's doing, but if you were left to your own devices with a crate of dynamite, you're not sure you could recreate this. You might be willing to give it a try. As you're doing it, you do notice that he's missing a few fingers. But he gets by. And he sort of strings it out on the railroad tracks. And the sun is just peeking up over the horizon as you all are doing this.
Do we hear a train?
Not yet. Not yet.
I help him finish kind of setting up the dynamite, and then, true to his own words, we get the heck away.
So you all are up on a ridge, and while you were setting up your traps and the dynamite and having your conversation, a couple of the other gentlemen that are with Logan Boone are digging almost a trench. They're throwing up dirt on the ridge there, and they're all setting up on there and kind of pushing out some things and setting up rifles and sighting them in for that train to come around the corner.
Well, I guess I'm gonna, seeing that there's a lot of people around, move up a bit, see if I can find a place to get some cover. Kind of, when I hear the train coming, probably just give it a deep sigh and put the hat on.
They also have their horses, and they did have horses for all of you, and have so of the group, there is William is out with Ulrich. There's Clay Kelly and Charles Ryan, who you find out had worked on the railroad previously. They came over from Ireland. Mary is there, but she's looking at some books, and she's the one that's actually directing the line of sights and telling them where to angle everything. And she's got some instruments that she kind of pulls out and does, kind of looks like range finding almost, but she's measuring the distances and calculating that for the men to get their rifles sighted in. I don't remember who Gray Dawson is, but I didn't write a description. I gave him a stat block, but not a description. There's another guy there named Gray Dawson. And you got Buck and Boston Campbell, and the Hatake, the Cheyenne medicine man. Once you all are set up, you've got two options. Well, three kind of. Right now, you have everybody except Buck and Boston are lined up on this berm, setting up their rifles and aiming them, including Logan. You have Tad, who's a little further away, and he's got kind of a weird contraption that leads all the way back to the dynamite, basically setting up a fuse. And then Buck and Boston Campbell are actually on their horses a little bit further down, and the plan is for them to ride around the berm and try and pick up any stragglers that survive the explosion and the rifles. Where would you all like to set up?
I'd like to think that Maybell is up on top of the ridge where they're digging out the trench and doing all of that, but she's sort of oblivious to what's actually happening near her. So she's just sort of watching wide-eyed and like standing on her tippy toes to see if she can see a train coming, like not really entrenched, if you will, in the sabotage that's happening.
Okay. So there is an opportunity, Sheriff Rex, for you to lean on the pistols if that's where you'd like to go.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So you're going to be mounted for mounted combat.
If I can be like behind the edge so they don't, like the train wouldn't see me, like just in advance, that would be ideal. Yeah.
And that's kind of where Buck and Boston are set up. They're down the ridge from everybody, but the train is on the far side of that, train track. So there's a path where they can ride out from around the ridge and sort of come out on the tracks below in the valley.
Okay, sounds good.
Mags, you gonna be staying with your sister, or are you gonna be down with the...
I want to kind of continue my apprenticeship with Tad and kind of set up the explosives, or rather look over them.
Okay. Yeah. He shows you all about this. Look at this little contraption. It's going to send a spark right down through there. We're going to light it up. Now, the timing is key. So we're about 100 yards away. So we got to light this when the train is about right there at that patch of sagebush. It's all about that timing.
Got it.
That voice is killer.
So then I asked Tad to expound upon the philosophies of...
Well, you see. Gunpowder was developed in about 1862. No, that's not even true at all.
Yeah, Sheriff Rex is going to give his life to make sure this character permanently joins the party.
That means you become him,
No,
and you have to recreate that.
I'll do it.
Commitment. Commit to the bit. All right. They're all set up. Fast forward just a wee bit. We're going to go back to Ulrich. So, Ulrich, you hear the whistle of the train as Tad, or William, man, kind of kicks that horse into one last trot to come up onto a rise. And as you do, you see this unnaturally black locomotive. You couldn't see it in the dark, but you see that same engine, those two armored cars, and then that passenger car where you had seen the nightmarish image from the night before, and the caboose. And you see it's coming up on a bridge ahead. And it's a very long rifle shot away as you all come over this rise. And as you're watching, William points out to the right, and you see this other ridge where you can notice Sheriff Rex waiting in that valley down below, and you see what may be Mags or Maybell standing on the ridge, kind of like looking up over. So you don't see Mags anywhere, but you get a sense of relief as you see your friends actually there. And as this train comes closer and closer towards this bridge, William kind of pulls up on the top of the ridge and he says, "We just made it in time. Now you're gonna see some fireworks if everything goes as planned." And right at this time, you see a small sliver of smoke coming up from the ridge. And he kind of like nudges you and he points it out and he goes, "Oh, Tad's working his magic. This is gonna be exciting." And all of you now see this train coming around the bend. Tension is rising as everybody sort of checks their weapons one last time. You hear a couple muttered Hail Marys and a few other prayers thrown up to deities you might or might not be familiar with. And Mags, the fuse, he lights it when it hits that sagebrush, and you see it snaking its way towards the bridge. And he kind of ducks down and sticks his fingers in his ears and kind of nudges you to do the same.
Yeah, I follow suit.
And nothing happens. And he goes to stick his head up above the ridge to see why it hasn't exploded yet. And a wave of energy, palpable, comes off of the train and sweeps out in front of the train. And you see the carefully laid dynamite go flying off the bridge. And it all sort of pop, 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 pop in devastating blows, but far away from the tracks that they don't actually do any damage. Tad's mouth drops open.
I want to. Now, granted, Emily's knowledge of dynamite is from watching cartoons. So, just putting that disclaimer out there. I want to take the stick of dynamite that he's given me, light it, and hurl it at the train.
Give me a throw.
This is a check you really don't want to fail.
I really don't.
How far from the train is she right now? Just
Always.
Yeah, it's a pretty good throw.
That is what we say in this game is an explosive success.
Explosive success. Oh man. Okay. So this train is hurtling towards towards the bridge. Ulrich, from your seat on the horse, you see this wave. It sort of looks like a heat shimmer that you're used to seeing in the desert comes out from the front of the train, and suddenly all this dynamite just flies off of the tracks and explodes all around. Sheriff Rex, you don't see any of this from where you're sitting, but you hear some muttering from up on the ridge, shock, and you hear the explosions go off, but you still hear the train. Toot, toot. Major pain. Chugga, 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 chugga.
So we hear the there's no secondary sound of, like, I don't know, it hitting the canyon and the canyon collapsing or anything cool like that.
Correct. Yeah, you just hear, you do hear the echoing around the canyon, but you don't hear what you expect of the train tracks to actually collapse. And from your vantage point, Ulrich, you can see this one little lonely fuse kind of coming out towards the train. Train rushing towards the bridge. Everybody held in suspense. And that's where we're going to stop for the evening. And hold you in suspense for another 2 weeks.
Oh boy.
Sorry, we're wrapping up a little bit early tonight. I wasn't sure how everybody was going to get together. Huge shout out to Mason for the sending somebody after Ulrich.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how Ulrich was gonna catch a horse since he kicked all of them out of town, but you know what? I had some plans and that one just worked out even better. So thank you all so much. I know I talked a lot tonight. I apologize that you all didn't get to do the normal role playing, but I was laying out some plot points there, and I hope everybody enjoyed it and enjoy the story that we're building here. Once around the table again, starting with Mason, where can folks find you?
Yeah, hey everybody, Mason Dula. You can find me over on WizardX TV here on Twitch, where I'm usually DMing, running games and fun stuff. Call of Cthulhu. We have an 80s themed Call of Cthulhu game that'll be the same time slot on Thursday next week. So make sure you come check that business out. We also have D&D regularly, and I think now that Xavier is done wasting my time, I think
Savage.
now
Wow.
hopefully we'll be getting back to our regular Wednesday game, because we've got to we've got in the near future we're going to be merging the two campaigns back together, and it's going to be fun times. So yeah, and also I don't know when we're starting Wraith, but I'm really excited about it. So
You know, sometime in the near and or
Sometime.
distant future, maybe.
Emily, tell us about yourself. Where can we find you?
Yo, hi. I am Diana and Justice's special friend.
I wish you'd stop saying like it's not true, but also,
Then why
It gets better every
why
time.
can't I share that with the world?
you know,
Why,
that's
Shan't?
a good point.
Shantai.
I am, in addition to being the special friend of Justice and Diana, I am the director of licensing over at Roll20, and I can be found on all of the things at Emily the Spoon.
Woot, woot. Lord Fancy.
Yep. So as Wizard Rex so pleasantly stated, yes, I'm back. So
And
go
better
ahead
than ever.
and better than ever.
and handsomer than ever.
Well, I mean that many beg to differ. But yes, so you can find me at Lord_Fancy with an IE on Twitch and Twitter. And you can see all my updates as I get back into art and D&D, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah. It's...
And last but certainly not least, Miss D'Amico.
Hey, I'm.
Oh, did you have one more thing? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, I have a YouTube thing going on right now.
Oh
and
yeah, tell us about
we're uploading art onto it, and I did read 2 stories in October. Should have been 3, but you know things got busy. I'll put that in the chat. But yeah, that's something else. Sorry, Diana.
It's fine, I guess. I'm not important enough to talk about my life. It's cool. I'm Diana, so yeah, I do lots of stuff. I'm the affiliate manager for Die Hard Dice. I do this. I run Bard and Barbarian with Justice. I play games with Mason over on WizardX TV. Sometimes I show up on Q Times for some World of Darkness games, including Denver by Night and Wraith, if it ever starts. That's all that's coming readily to mind. I play in a Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign with Justice over on Wandering DM's channel on Mondays as well. Oh, and I have a charity
your
game this
charity
Sunday.
game.
So, yeah, so I'll be over on Rock Punch's channel playing with some people from D4 and Gabe, Elisa Teague. We have a really good cast for an amazing game led by Lauren Urban, so I'm really excited about that. That's going to be more money raised for Extra Life this weekend. So.
Yeah, I actually have a thing about that too. I forgot. On Saturday, I think we said starting at 3, BB and I are going to be playing through one of the new Dark, was it Little Hope? New Dark Pictures anthology game. It's kind of a spooky co-op game.
Thank you, Smokebeard.
Thank you, Smokebeard. Which and we're doing that for Extra Life. It's kind of like a joint birthday stream for charity. So,
Because it's whose birthday?
well, it's my birthday today, and
Yay!
her birthday will be on Sunday. So we're kind of doing we're splitting the difference and doing it on Saturday.
Oh wow, thank you for the subs, Smokebeard. So that was on Sunday, you said, Mason?
Saturday. We're doing it Saturday at 3.
Okay. Awesome. These lovely folks do lots of stuff all over the place, and I highly encourage you to follow them. They do a lot of fun stuff. They're very talented. I thank you all so much for joining us tonight. This is my favorite campaign, and it's mostly because this cast is helping me fumble my way through Call of Cthulhu. I hope you all enjoyed it. You can find me on socials as Stashmandu. I'm going to have some updates. I'll put it on Bard and Barbarian. I'm doing a charity game on November 21st for Take This. I will be hosting a game, or storytelling a game. I'm going to do a Call of Cthulhu mummy style through the pyramids. You got to figure out one shot, and those seats will be available at $10 a piece, I believe. If he wants to participate in a game run by me and throw some money at Take This. More details will be announced on that, and I'll push them on my channel or my Facebook, as well as Bard and Barbarians. So thank you all so much. Make sure next Thursday you tune into Wizard Rex to pick up with their Call of Cthulhu games. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but it'd be cool if they found a portal to the Wild West and met these characters, and then they had to play both characters.
Oh
at
my
the same
god,
time.
please don't do that to me.
I mean, it's not
Just dress up
I'm
one
fine with
half
it.
and then the
Let's do
other
it.
half.
Yeah, you gotta like. Anyway,
Switch
and
hats.
sorry, we will not be doing Saturday morning cartoons this morning. I apologize, but we are moving into our house. This will actually be the last time that we are streaming in these two locations.
Hooray!
We spent all day, literally all day, moving things. We are exhausted, but we couldn't miss the campaign because, one, it's our favorite, and two, it's Mason's birthday, and we wanted to make sure we did something fun. So thank you all so much, and we will see you here in a couple weeks.
Yay! Love you guys. Good night.